So I was opening a bag of cereal this morning, and you notice how sometimes they have instructions on them, like tear here. So I was trying to tear it open, and I managed to remove some of the material, but not enough of it. Like the line should have been a little bit lower, or the little incision, the cut should have been a little bit lower for me to be able to tear off the part of the material that needed to be for me to be able to open the bag. So the bag did not open. And so now I'm trying to pull it open, and that's not happening. And of course, at that point, like scissors and knives come out to tear open the bag in the way that's needed. It's one of those resealable bags, right? If you do it wrong, now I managed to avoid this, but if you do it wrong, like you end up ruining the resealable part. So now the bag is just like, it's just cut open and ruined the entire system, right? But what this reminded me of was the fact that sometimes we get instructions. Like we get instructions from our coaches or mentors, the people who are guiding us in our careers. It could even be our managers. Now, their advice could be perfectly on point, but sometimes the way we hear it and interpret it and then put it into action simply doesn't work. So even with like the best instructions, you can run into situations where it was not executed correctly, it was not interpreted correctly. And because it ended up filtering through you did not get the expected results from the action. And this is what we run into, I think, most in our training. I think most experts and gurus are well-meaning. You can certainly identify those who are just out there constantly selling on webinars every day, all the time, every week. Webinar, come see my webinar, buy my course, buy my thing, buy my stack, buy my offer. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I think some people do have more of a money motive than a willingness or inclination or passion to help others. But the point is, like, if we're actively looking and we're actively questioning what we're hearing, then in general, we're not receiving bad advice. Now, sometimes we are. We're not generally receiving bad advice, though. So then we think we heard it right and we did it right and we executed correctly. And for some reason, the recipe doesn't work and the cake tastes horrible. So that's effectively human error. And then on the other hand, of course, you will find people that don't give you the right instructions or don't give them to you in a way that could even be interpreted properly and executed properly by you. Now, mindset advice is sometimes like this, and mindset is really more about, let me get my attitude and thinking straight so that I can go and do the things that I need to do without having to constantly contend with distractions and negative feedback and negative comments, because those things are going to come whether you like it or not. Some people just aren't going to like you or not going to like what you do. But if you have the right mindset, you won't be held back by negative comments and negative reviews and even, God forbid, death threats, which is not fun for anyone, but some of my friends have received those too. But mainly we're talking about like practical advice on how to book more gigs or how to set up an online music career or get your website right and that kind of thing. And sometimes we do get completely wrong instructions. You could say well-meaning people, but by people generally that are only concerned with making money off of teaching others what they do. So really, in summary, the point is we can still mess it up with the best instructions available. And if that's what's happening, we just need to take a closer look. What did we miss? I learned James Schramko's Own the Race course method when I rebuilt Music Entrepreneur HQ many years ago, and really powerful strategy, and it did magnetically attract a lot of traffic because I was consistently doing the right things. But I did miss certain pieces, which ultimately really didn't help me stay relevant. And that's no good, right? Like if you have a strategy and you're executing it and it's working, you definitely want to stay relevant with your audience. And I think this also gives a lot more credence and testament to the importance of ongoing self-education. You got to become a lifelong learner. You got to keep learning and be willing to change and adapt. Sometimes you've done things so long a certain way that it can be really hard. You can be so set in your ways to change anything or even have the desire to, because you're like, that sounds exhausting and we've always done it this way, and changing it to a new way is going to be a learning curve. But I think the best entrepreneurs and the best artists are always those that are willing to adapt their practices to be as effective as they can possibly be.
Unlock the secrets to skyrocketing your productivity, boosting performance, and maximizing profits with my latest premium guide, the Productivity, Performance, and Profits Blackbook. Tailored for independent artists and entrepreneurs, this comprehensive resource is your roadmap to turning ideas into reality. Say goodbye to abandoned projects collecting dust on your shelves or buried in your hard drives. It's time to bring your vision to life. Grab your free copy of the Productivity, Performance, and Profits Blackbook now at davidandrewweeb.com/blackbook. That's WIEBE. Don't miss out on the key to unlocking your success.